I am Salman Agah, professional skateboarder and owner and founder of Pizzanista. One of the things I learned from skateboarding is we just don't ever give up. You fall down, it hurts. You get back up, you assess what you did right, wrong, what you could do better, and you kind of go at it again. That's how I approach everything in life. As a child, I often kind of perceived LA or Southern California as kind of a rolling capital of the world. Living back in Washington, D.C., I would see programs like CHIPS. And there was an episode where Poncherello and other officers, they're actually skating around Venice Beach. And anytime I saw skateboarding or anything that had to do with like the beach or being outside, I was really attracted to that. And my perception of what LA is about movement and rolling and being outside and the sunshine and palm trees and just having fun. I grew up in an era where skateboarding evolved from skating pools and ramps to being more urban and street skating. So LA was a big draw for all of us. When I was very young, about 5, I got my first skateboards. And that was purely out of my sense or need to be moving. And I liked playing outside, and I was very active. So I just loved rolling and going down hills and trying to jump off stuff and just being a rambunctious little kid. For the first time for me as a young person, that I could relate to something that I could essentially do on my own. I didn't need to be a part of a group per se. It's just something I could watch and pick different aspects of it that I thought were interesting and kind of, follow those ideas. But it wasn't really something that someone's parents might look at and say, oh, that looks like a very promising feature, right? It just was something I was interested in. And I had a feeling that despite what others might think, about success or happiness or whatever, that I personally wanted to do that and follow that to the very end, whatever that was. So I was at the forefront of that whole street skating movement. And that's why I loved LA. We are taking something that was originally designed and built for one thing, and we've repurposed it by skating it into something completely different. And we've turned the whole urban landscape into a skate park. So if you look at skateboarders today, they've transcended all of the different ways that architects and designers have tried to make it impossible for young people to skate urban areas, and they skate it anyway, and it's amazing for us to see as spectators. For me, there's a certain aspect of skateboarding culture that I'd like to see continue to, stay around. As a community, I felt we were like a microcosm of what the world wished it could be, essentially, because there was a lot of people coming together for this activity from lots of different backgrounds, and it didn't matter your gender, it didn't matter your color, your race, none of that. It didn't matter if you even spoke the same language. It just was like, oh, you like doing this thing? Cool. We're united. You're my friend, we're connected. So that was a very beautiful thing. And I'd like to see that continue. For Pizzanista and for myself, part of the reason why we have done over 100 collaborations and work with artists and photographers and musicians and brands and pros is because, we want to continue to celebrate that rich cultural connection that we all have through skateboarding.